Hi, everybody. Leslie Davenport here at home. I'm actually getting ready to go to the studio to teach lessons. So, this isn't a full series yet, but I love making things for my friends and my loved ones. And so, around this time of year, around Valentine's Day, lots of things come out of me because of that reason. Um, so, the move that I want you to start to take a closer peek at in your practice and make sure that you are practicing them and exploring the possibilities you have there is the Swan. All right, so we're going to call that the move of the month. Um, so we're going to do a couple things that are in your repertoire so that you can see how the Swan goes together. But the Swan is one of those series that I think is underestimated and really undervalued about why it's so important to do daily. Um, so we're talking about, I'll just show you with my hand, right? So we're talking about the ability to engage the back of our body in a like harmonious, right, and integrated way. Okay, so there's a couple things that go together to make that happen. Could you imagine if you only had a front and you tried to walk around or sit and work? So back strength, the back of our body being able to handle more load. Oh my gosh, lift and carry things. Absolutely. That's a big factor. So for anyone who is trying to do, I'd say my senior population, for anyone who has long periods of sitting, back strength becomes really important. And we're going to say strength, but also agility. Okay, so here we go. There's a long list of reasons, of course, why this is important. So I'm just going to be creative with you. So a couple things go together to make this work, right? One is the rhythm of your core, your abdominal wall, the rhythm of how that works with your hips. Okay. And so we're talking about the mobilization of your sacrum joints, but your proprioception as a person so that you have a good connection into the back of your hip joints, because we're going to need to do that, right, to get our lower back to be nice and healthy. Okay. So isn't this cool that you already know so much about this? So we're going to have a set of hand weights by us. If you're at home, you can use any kind of pantry cans that you like. All right. Anywhere from like 1 to 3 pounds, I'd say. Okay, for a good swan to work, we're going to need, again, get a good breath in our belly, right? Massaging the hip joints. Remember how the sacrum structure itself is a lot like a triangle? There's the top of the back of it, there's the middle of the back of it, and there's the low or the base, the bottom of the back of it. And we want to figure out, well, how much abdominal, right? Abdominal tone, how much work, how much effort does it take to go to the top of the back joint in the middle? Okay, that's the one we need right now. All right. It's always nice, of course, to put in your heel slides and check that your stability, right, in the back of your hips is working pretty well, right? And also your flow of motion. Okay. So your second thing that's really valuable is your shoulders and arms, your ability to push and pull. Okay. So we're going to do a little makeshift at home arm springs like from the Cadillac. So if you did your arm springs from the Cadillac, we're working on pulling and pressing through, right? We have to get a good rhythm from our shoulders and our hips. This is going to add up to our swan. Okay. So puppets, right? Mobilization of your shoulder blades. Spread the shoulders wide enough to connect the muscles behind the shoulder at the high upper top of them. Okay, so I'm pretty good there. So I'm going to practice pulling, right? I'm going to pull from my arms right in here from this arm joint. And I'm going to see where I can balance. Okay. And I'm here, I'm going to push and turn the shoulders, pulling and pushing, pulling and pushing. Okay. If you're like me, where mobility has been something to really figure out and honestly realize I need a lot more, right? In my hips and my shoulders, then circles are the way to go. So you can get movement in all your different planes. Okay. Good deal. So let's just take a little, moment right here at your 90-degree arm spot. When your shoulders turn themselves under towards the sternum and you are in your abdominal wall and nice and lifted in your waist, healthy natural curves, your upper back, right? The vertebrae, the joints through that upper spine, it's going to get the suggestion of swan. Healthy natural curves. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that and remind you because again, you do this, I'm sure, regularly, if not every day. I'm sure you do this multiple times in a week. But the weight of my two arms, right, with the shoulder seated down, is that I'm already getting a little suggestion and feedback into the place we need. Okay, here we go. Let's flip it over. Okay. So picture my legs completely back down on the ground. All right. Now, why in the heck are those arms so important? Because now we need to use them. Okay. So if you are very, very new at this, just revisit your prep. Okay. Prep is healthy curves. It's not really to create the arch of the swan, but we want to just, put it together. Keep your legs heavy and grounded, meaning that they don't lift off the floor. They don't feel willy wobbly. They feel really secure and helpful. Gather in that low abdominal connection and play with that adjustability of your hips. Can you turn the pubic bone towards the sternum? Absolutely. Okay, we need to be able to do that because we don't want to arch our lower spine. We want to have a nice smooth like through, and we want to be able to build, right, the strength that the muscles of the upper back respond. See how I'm just long and straight? Okay, long and straight, shoulders really wide, not squeezing tight shoulders, just like turned and seated on the body. Okay, so that's our prep, healthy curves. So enter your arms. Bring your shoulders up and around. Your arms need to kind of find their way. For a lot of people, it will be right underneath the front of the shoulder. However wide you need to be to feel that you are not pinching your shoulders together. That will be too blocked of a movement. Okay. So I'm going to push into the ground, pull lightly with your arms, hover up through the head and bring your chin in so the neck isn't like this, because again, that will block the flow of motion from your center outward. You want to open up the nape of the neck. And then start working your hips actually. If you press the hips into the ground and you open the front of your hip joint, oh my goodness, you're going to be able to totally clear, right, some space here. Remember how you're pulling. The arms themselves, right, are part of the upper body. We're going to pull, 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 pull. Oh my gosh, stretching all the way up through my abdomen. That feels so good on my abdominals. So then you lengthen forward and lower back down. Okay. Now, that range for me is okay because I'm actually really warm. This is at the end of a practice I did. Okay. First thing in the morning, heck no, I'm going to really just get my upper back. Okay. So let's go ahead and just look at if you were just chilly warming up. Okay. Hover, right? Quiet shoulders, wide, no pinching, turning them under. The shoulder turns under to the sternum. The sternum is what you're seeing with. Okay, so you reach out with your eyes just a little, but pretend your eyes are on your chest. And then right about there, right? So the front hip open, maybe you can rest on the rib cage, okay, using your upper back, right? So you can see where the yoga sphinx came from. It's a little high for me. I can't rest here well between the shoulders and my lower back. You see how I'm just bending in my low back? That will be a very temporary movement that I could do. I wouldn't be able to sustain something. So I'm going to bring it back down. Ah, there we go. That's my swan. Okay. All right. So it's always good, everybody, to really go ahead and test it and play with something. So I would just suggest doing your single leg kick or even double leg hamstring curls. Okay. Because it's important to engage your back body. That includes your legs. Okay. When you're all done practicing your swan, flip over, give yourself a hug in. Whew. Okay. Ah. So coming on up to your feet, we're going to finish with our swan standing up. Awesome. So I hope that you really were able to see that clearly. Um, I know I'm taking large chunks of information and hopefully showing you the progression through. Being able to extend your upper back, right, and get mobility here really is these like high upper, like these high thoracic spine, okay? So what we're doing is we're really activating the facet part of the joint, okay? And to be able to learn how to do that is such an incredible skill because imagine if you walked around having your own personal chiropractor all day, every day, right? You can do that. You can actually learn how to do that. Okay. So if we were going to do standing swan, I'm going to have you keep your arms low in front of you. We went from hips. Okay. So we're going to rotate the base of the sits bones under just enough to feel long in the front. The pubic bone will start to get a little lighter up here. Okay. Lift up through your waist so it's not bending in your lower back. That will hurt. That's not a good function here. Okay. That's a poor use. Turn the shoulders under. Rest the weight of your head on your upper back. See where you can, right, curve your upper back the opposite way. So if we're front here, right, we're going to curve the opposite way in the upper back. Excellent. It's always good to go with your arms up. Oh my goodness, it feels like lifting up your heart. Yay! So a little contrast. Let's open up our back muscles. Everybody knows how to do a rollover in our community. Yay, it's a standard. Good. Keep those hips firm on your heels. Open up your back muscles. It takes practice. You know, it's not like hard work. I'd say it's playful work, but it takes practice to get good at the movements to make them feel natural. So we'll go again. So we're going to go hips, lift up through the lower spine. That's where your belly muscles come in. That's where the structure of your lower back being consistent comes in. Oh my goodness. When you add your arms, it really does feel like your heart just goes right up to the ceiling. Okay. Shoulders turning under, reaching up. Oh, if I went around my hips, I could go just a little further. I can see the wall behind me. Awesome. Open up your back muscles one more time. Okay, so the move of your month is Swan. I hope you have fun playing with this at home. Again, any questions? Let us know. This is what we do every day for a living is help people move well, but more importantly, we help to establish with you motion is a daily habit. All right, it's a habit to remember you're important enough, right? Your value is important enough that it deserves a spot on your schedule. Okay? All right. Bye.